will Andy Cook end his gold route? Will Mark Hughes get his first win? Will we beat top of the league? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know your score predictions. It's the Bradford City v Forest Green Town match preview. Now let's get straight into the football. Mark Hughes, it's a bit of an interesting fact if you find it interesting. Mark Hughes gave Rob Edwards, the Forest Green Town manager, his first Wales cap in the early thousands. And another fact, their front two, Jamil Matt and Matt Stevens, have scored 38 goals combined this season, which is more than our whole team, which shows how below par we have been going forward. Obviously, I think Cook's been on a real dip in form. I also had a few injuries. Obviously, Lee Angol got 6 goals this season, and also been hit with injuries. So that just shows how much we need to improve our head of recruitment. And on that, Mark Hughes got asked that in his presser. Now he said, "Ahead of recruitment, ahead of recruitment is in progress. It's in the developments. I'd be comfortable working with a head of recruitment. It'll help the club. It'll help me in this league." He's also shamed everyone who's calling him that he can't manage in a lower league, saying that obviously he's played in the 80s where it was all muddy pitch, there wasn't a blade of grass on it, so he's sat everyone down talking about that. But he said it's been another really good week in training. He said it's been really productive. He's seen that he's assessed the group really quickly, and he knows he's got more knowledge on the team. And he's also spoke about how there's a good knowledge in the staff, which is good to know, because I think obviously watching the inside training, you saw Hodges obviously training the group, and it was an interesting training session, one that we haven't seen, and the mannequins and quickly passing it through and good movement, and obviously in the inside training you get to see the mood of the players and the morale in the players, and they look to be having fun, smiling, and that's something that you don't like to see, and it obviously shows how the morale is in the group, and how how interested they are in Mark Hughes when you see him going up to him, having a word, and him showing the strikers a few moves. And I think it's a real good thing to see, and I'm glad the club have actually allowed the access for us to see inside training. Anyway, injuries. Walker and Pryor in contention. I doubt they'll start, and I doubt Walker will come on. Pryor might come on for about 10 minutes at max on Saturday. He was obviously on the bench, wasn't he, on Saturday, but he didn't really come on. Well, he didn't come on at all. But obviously it would have been nice to see him get his first game for us, but obviously injury prevention, we need to really focus on injury prevention, because we have too many players coming back from injury, being rushed back, and then we don't get to see him. And on that, I hope we don't rush Charles Vernon back. Mark Hughes said he's 2 weeks ahead of what we thought he would have been, which is brilliant to hear, but we don't want to be playing him when he can't play. That's the thing here. We don't want to be rushing these players back, and I'd rather him miss an extra 2 weeks rather than be rushed back and then he can't play at all for the season. Ridehouse out for another week or two with concussion. Obviously the protocols with concussion, you can't play, and you have to go through processes with your concussion. Elliott's joined in warm-ups, but he ain't sprinting. He said that he might be sprinting today, doing some sprinting tests, but he'll be definitely sprinting again next week, and he might be in contention next Saturday. I doubt he'll be in contention on Tuesday against Hartlepool, and then that's it for injuries, which is good, because he stressed how good it is that we haven't had any injuries since he's coming back into management, because normally when you get a new manager you do pick up a few injuries, because it's different programs in training and you bring some players back from who were frozen out, like Gareth Evans and Colin Lavery, who obviously started on Saturday and came out from nowhere and put in a good performance, and he said it's good that they haven't been injured, and it shows how fit the squad is, because they put a load of effort in and obviously didn't get injured, which is brilliant, but both did come off, and I think that's another big part of bringing them 2 players off who haven't been playing, so to keep the fitness up, which I do like, because he's very aware, is Mark Hughes, of this, which is something a lot of our managers haven't been aware of. Players coming back from injury, rushing them back, and then players coming in and then just getting injured. You know, you saw Zelly Ismail, for example, last year come back and then got injured within 20 minutes of his first game back. Isa, with Adams earlier on in the season, came back for his first game and then got injured in the first half, and then he's out for the season again. So I do think it's massive, and you've seen improvement in that already straight away from Mark Hughes. We'll get into the form then. We've lost 3 and won 2 of our last 5 away matches, which is quite impressive to say how poor we've been. They're the 5th best home team in the league, which, to say the top of the league, you think they'd be better at home. But it's only by a few points anyway off top, so I won't think about that too much. However, they have the joint best home defence in the league. We've conceded 11 goals, which is the joint best with 11. So they're going to be tough to break down. And they are one of the top goals. They are the top goal scorers in the league. They're one of the top goal scorers at home in the league, and they've got the 2 top goal scorers with goals combined in a team in the league. So it does show how attacking they are. They create good chances for the strikers, but they have a good balance because they're disciplined. They're quite cautious in defence, and it shows that Rob Edwards is a good manager, good young manager, because he's proving that his teams can attack well, but they're also very, very solid in the defence. We're one of the worst teams in the league with a form of 0 points in the last 5 games, whilst they're one of the other worst. They're the 18th worst team in the league with 3 points in the last 5, 3 draws. They were 19 unbeaten until they played Walsall and lost, and since that defeat to Walsall, they've been on a pretty poor run. Obviously, they drew the game before that against Walsall and then lost, and then drew a couple and then lost. And they are on a downward spiral, but I do think they'll pick it up. I just hope they don't end that get them 5 games without a win on Saturday, because we're on a bad run of form, and we're saying, well, we're playing against one of the teams in the league who are good on form like us, and it could be a time to change it around. But they are top of the league, and they've got players who have proven to be having a good season. So I think they'll be looking at us and saying, right, pick up 3 points, we'll turn it around, and then we'll coast to a nice league title, which is obviously something we had our sights on at the beginning. But they're on 8 points above second. They're 8 points above second. Northampton, Exeter have 2 games on them. So that shows how far away they are, even having that tough run. So it shows that Forest Green, they're 8 points clear and they've just gone 5 unbeaten, which shows how clear they were of winning the league. And they are going to win the league. But their goalkeeper Luke McGee, who's played 35 games this season, obviously a former loanee at City in 1920 season, only played 4 games for the injured Richard O'Donnell. He didn't keep his place in the team and he went back to Portsmouth at the end of the season. But he's been really good for Forest Green this season. He's always been a pretty good League 2 keeper, but he didn't show enough for us to keep him, which is crazy because we have a goalkeeper problem where we've loaned out Sam Hornby and Richard O'Donnell, with all believing good enough, and then Alex Bass comes in on loan and does just as bad. Obviously making a few mistakes in his time, but he seems to turn into Gigi Buffon in away Tuesday nights. It's away, it's not a Tuesday night, but we just need him to have a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, just even an average 6 out of 10, just so don't make no mistakes, and we do need that clean sheet, and I don't know the stats on this, but I wonder how long it is since we've had a clean sheet, because we haven't been getting any all season. But going back to the presser, Mark Hughes got asked about contract renewals, and also on the defence he got asked about Paddy O'Connor, and he's been heavily linked with a move to Sheffield Wednesday in the summer because his contract's running out. And I don't see why Paddy O'Connor would want to stay at Bradford City, mid-table League 2 side, instead of going to a League 1 side. And you can't even say the fan base is a problem in this, because Hillsborough's a brilliant stadium to play at, and the fan base is exceptional as well at Hillsborough. So unless he's not going to be promised first team opportunities, then I can't see him signing a new contract. We have to do everything we can to keep him, but is this going to be another one of those players who are just going to go for free? We've let so many players go over the few years go for free, and the good players who just vanish and we don't get anything back from them. But we'll look at the head-to-head now. So we're unbeaten in our last three against Forest Green. One of those last three, Paddy O'Connor and Anthony O'Connor, got sent off in the same game, 8 minutes apart from each other. And Anthony O'Connor got sent off first, and this is the problem with Paddy O'Connor. Make sure we say this to Sheffield Wednesday straight away. He's ill-disciplined. Headbutted the Forest Green Rovers player over the billboards, didn't he? And it were definitely a red, and it were 2-2 game luckily, so it didn't cost us. But I don't want anything stupid like that happening again. But we are good on form against them. We've only played them 4 times in our history. But it's not like Harrogate Town where we've played them not many times and beat them. But yeah, we are pretty good against Forest Green, but the top of the league, and I can't see us winning unless Andy Cook comes out of the dead really and rescues himself, because I do believe he'll end his goal drought, just not on Saturday. It might be on Tuesday, but he scored in his previous game against Forest Green, one of the 10 goals he has scored this season. Hopefully he does score, and hopefully we do get something. I'm not even going to say hopefully we get the win, because I don't think we will. But I do think we'll draw. I think we'll get a 1-1 draw against one of the other worst forms in the league. And worst form against another team who's got bad form. I do think we'll edge a draw. Anyway, let me know your score predictions, as I said at the bottom of the video. And have a good one.